The great debate, the Sparta-Athens debate, as I mentioned some of the parents earlier and those who just showed up. The 6th grade works on this for about 3 to 4 weeks, basically when they get back from winter break. They are randomly given a city-state, Sparta or Athens, the 2 leading city-states at the time in ancient Greece. And they're also given randomly a topic to research and then write a persuasive argument. Their goal, 4th grade, is to persuade you that their city-state is the better city-state. So there'll be a few topics covered, and they're also on your sheet. The government and military of the city-state, the roles of the men and women of the city-state, and the contributions of the city-state. There will also be citizens of Greece who present an opening and a closing and something called the rebuttal. And the rebuttal will happen towards the end. And the rebuttal's main job is it's their chance to tell you how awful the other city-state is and why you shouldn't live there. Now, during the speeches, you'll also hear references to the other city-states as well. And their job is to convince you and persuade you. So judge fairly and accordingly. And let's begin the great debate, as we always do every year, by bringing out the 2 people who will be making the openings. In this case, it's Citizen Sarah G. of Athens and Citizen Brian of Sparta. And we're going to do instead of a coin toss, we're going to have an odds and evens. So I will let you choose whether you want to be odds or evens. Good, evens, so you know how it works. We're going to count 1, 2, 3. You either hold out 1 finger or 2 fingers. Okay? 1, 2, 3. So it's odds. Okay, so Sparta won, so Sparta gets to choose to either present first or present second.
We will present second.
Present second. Okay, good. Good luck to both of you. So what that means is that Athens will be the first to give the opening, and then Sparta will then give their opening, and then we'll go sort of in a ping-pong fashion. And after each one, you'll have a chance to grade your evaluation sheets. So let the debate begin. We will start with the opening from Athens, from Citizen Sarah Gabrielle.
Hi, I'm Sarah Gabrielle, and I'm here to talk to you about the wonderful city of Athens. Before I start, Citizen Harrison's been called away to serve on the Assembly, which is a privilege for Athenian men. It's part of our democracy. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. One of the greatest attributes of Athens was that it gave citizens the ability to choose. They could choose what they wanted to do, they could choose how they wanted to live, and they could choose what they wanted to be. They could also choose whether they wanted to make money, create art, whether or not they would fight, and even more. Sparta was all about having an unyielding society. They could not choose what they wanted to do, and so they were forced to fight, could not choose their way of life, and could not choose what they wanted to be. The boys who survived childhood were soldiers until their dying day. Spartans were not allowed to decide how much money they could get, if they wanted to create art, or if they wanted to play music. The idea was alien, a foreign concept to Spartans. In Athens, we could make our own choices, a freedom that they didn't have. In addition to our war strategy, intellect, government, and navy, we built great temples, statues, and architectural landmarks, including the Parthenon and the Acropolis. Our citizens were encouraged to be creative, create beautiful statues, landmarks, and temples, and they were happy. We didn't kill unfit babies, we weren't forced to be something we didn't want to be, and we were encouraged to think, not just fight. An ancient anecdote about Spartan boys was that a boy and his friends were trying to steal a fox to eat. This was because Spartan boys were taught to steal their food, but if they were caught, they were punished. When the boys saw their generals walking towards them, the boy holding the fox stuffed it inside his cloak. As the boys started attention, the fox, trying to get free, started to gnaw away frantically at the boy's stomach. But the boy didn't allow any pain or fear to show on his face or body. Eventually, the boy dropped dead. And this shows how bizarre their logic was. The boy would rather die than reveal a fox, because he'd be killed anyway if he found out about them stealing it. Would you sacrifice yourself just for food? You'll hear about our many contributions from our amazingly wonderful citizens, Kieran and Zion. They will tell you about our philosophers. Philosophers question things, and questions, as I said, were a choice. As I mentioned before, in Sparta, they didn't have choices. Andrew and Jordan will inform you of government and military greatness in our city-state, while Caitlin and Maggie will profile the roles of our women and people. Our Athenian government still serves as a blueprint for many democracies today. Once you hear the details about our city-state, you'll be convinced that Athens is really a much better city-state to live in. Thank you, and enjoy the debate.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sparta-Athens debate. I know that after this argument, you will take the side of us, the mighty Spartans. Our city-state was tough, unlike Athens. We didn't have to depend on other countries like Athens does. We have our own strength and power. We have our own fields for crops. We are our own isolated city, strong city-state. Though we didn't invent many things, we had the strongest army in the world. If you are a woman that wants to live in Sparta, you would be able to participate in athletic competitions, and you would be treated as equals to men. If you were a woman that decides to live in the beautiful city of Athens, you will be treated as property, and I'm sure you would love to live. The Athenians over there are probably thinking, oh no, those Spartans are going to come over here and take us over. Our military strength is the best in the world. No one can conquer us, because as soon as they saw our army, they would fall down and die. This is obviously one of the most important parts of our city-state. In our city-state, you don't have to worry about being attacked by other countries. What the Athenians are going to tell you is that they had a democracy, they had great thinkers, and amazing buildings. But they use everybody's money except for theirs to build their buildings. And most of the buildings burned down anyway. They might have great, smart people, but they killed their smartest man because they did not want him teaching anybody else about their horrible government. And on that topic, their so-called democracy allowed about 8% of their people to vote, just men over 30. So the Athenians stole other city-states' money for their own architectural projects. It's almost like if you saved up money to buy a great car, but when you go to the bank and get the money, they say they spent it on a bunch of cheese balls. So on that note, I hope you have a good time, so enjoy the debate.